Live from UFCU Dish Falk Field in Austin, Texas, it's the 2013 UIL Baseball State Championships. This is the Class 3A state semifinal between the Lubbock Cooper Pirates and the Texarkana Pleasant Grove Hawks. Good afternoon and welcome here into today's broadcast presented by State Farm. I'm Gerald Sanchez along with Jeff Power, and we've got the defending state champions in Class 3A. No stranger to this tournament, Jeff. 6 straight times.
Yeah, Pleasant Grove, they won the state title last year, won it in 2010. They've been here 6 consecutive years. You know, they actually got off to a 10-10 start, but they've been on a roll ever since.
And also a slow start for their opponent, Lubbock Cooper, but they've come on too very well.
Yeah, Lubbock Cooper's come on strong here. In fact, their ace on the hill today is Ryan Mosley, a 10-1 record. He's got a good low ERA, 4 different pitches, throws some good heat. That 1.50 ERA, though, is what you need when you're playing in the state tournament. On the mound here today for Pleasant Grove is going to be a lefty who had Tommy John surgery during football season, if you can imagine that. I'm talking about Dalton Willigie. Dalton Willigie's 5-0, 4-0 in the postseason. He's got 4 pitches as well, curve, slider. He can mix things up pretty well for you.
It's the first of 2 today, the first state semifinal in 3A, and we'll come back as Jeff Power talked with both head coaches. That is coming up next here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Welcome back here to UFCU Dish Falk Field. I'm Jeff Power, now joined by Craig Jones, the head coach of Pleasant Grove. And first of all, Coach, give me your thoughts. After starting off 10-10, you guys have really kind of come into your own throughout the rest of the season, and you're playing your best baseball at the best time of the year.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, it's kind of rough. We played some stiff competition. You know, we played some Louisiana schools and some Arkansas schools that were really tough, and a lot of schools there in the corner of the tri-state area there. And we started playing well after our first district game. We started putting it together and start doing things right, and we're hot right now, which is when you need to be hot.
Tell me about your starting pitcher.
Well, Dalton Willigie, he transferred over from Louisiana from last year. He came in here back in August and has been here for a year. But the ironic thing about that is he had Tommy John surgery last year after pitching in Louisiana in late May, early June. So he's just a year and a few weeks past Tommy John, and we had to bring that guy along slowly. And then he actually didn't have his first start till after district, and then he's gone 5-0 since then.
Now, Texarkana Pleasant Grove is making their 6th consecutive state tournament appearance. That's got to feel good. Give me your thoughts, not only as like a defending champ, but what does it take to win this series?
Well, we're not making a big deal out of the 6th tournament. That's a program thing and a community thing and a school thing. This is our team this year, you know, in 2013, and that's what we talk about. We want to make our own legacy, and it's one game today is what we're looking at, and trying to get a win here, and then see what we can do tomorrow.
And Craig, you got good temperature out here. It's going to be a little bit warm, but probably no breeze, no chance of rain. This is your kind of weather, right?
We like it hot down here in Austin. We like this turf. We like Dish Falk. We love coming down here to University of Texas, Austin. Me and my coach have been together for 6 years, and it doesn't get old. We enjoy coming down here.
Very good. Craig Jones, Pleasant Grove's head coach, will be right back with much more on the pregame show for the Class 3A State Championship. Welcome back to UFCU Dish Falk Field Class 3A semifinals. I'm Jeff Power down here in the field with Terry Baxter, the head coach of Lubbock Cooper. Give me your thoughts, first of all, Coach, about this matchup going up against Pleasant Grove, a team that's been here 6 consecutive seasons.
Well, we're excited about it. They've built a lot of tradition over there, and we're excited to see where we stand.
Overall, first of all, your pitcher, Ryan Mosley, he's been fantastic for you all season long. Need that kind of leadership out of a guy today. Tell us about him.
Well, he features a fastball, and he's really learning how to pitch. And this is really his first year to pitch, and he's done such a great job this year. He's committed to Tech, and we're just really proud of how he's performed this year as well.
Your team has been battle tested all year long. Had to beat Stephenville to get here. Give me your thoughts about what it's taken to get to this point.
I tell you, we played a lot of good playoff teams. Big Spring beat us actually in the first round, so we had to fight right there, and then we go and play Abilene Wiley the next week, and they've been down here a few times, so that was a test for us. And then Kennedale, who won the state championship 2 years ago, so we had to go through quite a few to get here.
What do you think will be the key to winning today?
I think right out there on the mound, pitching and playing good, solid defense behind them.
All right, Terry Baxter, head coach of Lubbock Cooper. We'll be right back with the starting lineup and much more here on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.
Back here at Dish Falk Field in Austin, Texas, the 3A state semifinal, the first of 2 today, and the other one later will be Silsbee against LaGrange. Let's look at the starting lineups. First for Lubbock Cooper and the Pirates, along with the Pleasant Grove Hawks. It'll be the Pleasant Grove Hawks that will be batting first, and it'll be Alex Alsop, the second baseman, leading it off, followed by the first baseman, Casey Rayburn. Hitting third and playing shortstop is Ty Harp. Cleaning it up and playing center field is Dylan Sylvie. Right fielder is Trey Jeans, DH Jared Bayless. And hitting seventh is the left fielder Hudson Hopkins. Hitting eighth and catching is Kason Cordray. Hitting ninth, rounding out the lineup for the Pleasant Grove Hawks is the third baseman Joe Perlman. Our head coach is Craig Jones. And this is their 7th time in the state tournament. Back in 1989, they made it, and then they have run off 6 straight appearances in the state tournament. Lubbock Cooper with Ryan Mosley on the mound. And he's being caught by Cole Goolsby. Over at first base is Tanner Hahn. The second baseman is Chase Freeman. Scotland Church is the shortstop. Braden Hayward is the third baseman. Playing in center field this afternoon is Jordan Salas. Playing right is Tyler Parr, and left is Chandler Patterson. The right side of the infield has Hahn and Freeman. Left side, Church and Hayward. In the outfield from left to right, Patterson, Salas, and Parr. Goolsby behind the plate, and it is Mosley on the mound as the team meets in one final pep before the first pitch is being delivered. And Jeff, you got to think especially for the Pirates, they've got to have those jitters.
Yeah, you would think those early jitters. They've only been to the state tournament twice in their school history. This being the second one here, 2005 the last. But this is a team that they feel ready to go. They've got a good record at 31-10, and they're just taking on a team that's used to being here. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, the first pitch is up a little high to Alex Alsop. We're underway on a very warm Wednesday afternoon in Austin. And, of course, the key, as to any pitcher, but especially in a one-game situation, you got to come out and throw in strikes. And so far, Mosley has missed the strike zone. Goolsby sets up. There's a bunt attempt. Also pulls it back, and these pitches aren't even close.
Yeah, Mosley has 107 strikeouts on the year, 28 walks. He has allowed 16 earned runs. The whip, 0.90, so uncharacteristic Probably nerves right now, I would think, more than anything else. We'll see if he finds a way to kind of control himself right now. Different mound. These guys probably aren't used to pitching on a mound like here at UFCU, Dish Falk Field. It's one of the best in all of baseball.
Not even close again, and a 4-pitch walk to Alex Alsop. Now on the flip side, for Pleasant Grove, they got to feel very confident. They have been here before. Alex Alsop and also Cordray, they're two returners from last year as the starters. Everybody else, all the other lineup, the 7, are new to the starting lineup, but they were here in Austin and they had a feel of what it was like last year.
Yeah, we were talking with Craig Jones earlier, the head coach of Pleasant Grove. I mean, that 10-10 start was kind of a shock for him, but he said they just started finally playing better baseball. They had to learn to figure out who they were, figure out what their identity is, and they've been able to put it together, and they've been making a nice run.
And Terry Baxter, the head coach of the Cooper Pirates, is out to talk to his starting pitcher, Mosley, and Gouldsby out there as well. And more than anything else, hey, look, son, just settle down, throw your game.
Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest stage these guys have ever been on. So obviously you look around here at Dish Falk Field and you know the legends that have played here at the University of Texas, all the tradition. It can kind of be a daunting task to walk out here and to play a team that's been to this state tournament 6 consecutive years. I'm sure that plays a role as well.
There's Casey Rayburn. Ball pops away, and going to second base is Alsop. Alsop going to second base on a passed ball.
Well, that ball was at least closer to the strike zone. Borderline strike there, but called a ball.
And so 6 straight outside the strike zone, and now Rayburn got to be looking for a fastball, I would imagine. No, he's going to show bunt. It's low and outside.
And right now, if you're Pleasant Grove, you don't pull that bat off your shoulder. There's no question. You wait until he throws you a strike.
Well, let's see what happens. I would imagine the handcuffs are on, and sure enough, all 4 pitches missing the strike zone, not even close, and Mosley is going to have to find himself, as you can clearly see the early jitters. The back-to-back walks to start the ball game in the top of the first inning. And so the Hawks with a record of 27-13. Of course, you can do the math after a 10-10 start. They only lost 3 the remainder of the way, and they played extremely well. And, you know, so many times we see it, especially at the Major League Baseball level, Jeff, is where it's not how you start. You catch fire, you get into the postseason, and then things happen for you. And that is what has happened for Pleasant Grove, the defending state champions.
They've actually been taking the distance the last 2 series, so.
Ty Harp, the hitter, and that is the first strike of the ball game for Ryan Mosley. As the fans for Lubbock Cooper all cheer right there. They want to get an out here. Runners go. It is hit to the shortstop, and Church will go on to the first baseman, Hahn.
Great hit-and-run situation right there. Pleasant Grove taking advantage of the situation, moving runners over to second, third, because that was a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play, but they can only get the 1 out at first. Wind just slightly blowing out to the left. 89 degrees right now. Weather not really a factor, but that turf can get hot.
Dylan Sylvie. 1 ball and no strikes. Sylvie, the center fielder. He is a transfer. He didn't start his career at Pleasant Grove, but he transferred, and he's been a key contributor this year. Good stuff right there from Mosley.
Yeah, that was a good off-speed pitch.
Yeah.
Got to work that corner right there. I think for the most part, he's tried to nibble on the outside corner, and right now, with runners in scoring position, 2 of them, he's got to find the plate. Nice job on that last pitch.
Safety squeeze. Coming up empty on that bunt attempt is Sylvie. A third baseman, Braden Hayward, came in. And so there was no way that Gouldsby could make the throw, and the runner at third also knew that. And so he was a little bit more daring coming up the third base line.
I think Craig Jones trying to put more pressure on Lubbock Cooper.
comebacker. They're going to go to third, and not being able to make the play is Hayward. Now the throw to second, and they get him. Base running mistake by Casey Rayburn cost them the second out of the inning.
Good play there by Hayward. He dropped the ball at third, but had the awareness to turn around and fire it down to second base. They get the tag, no damage done. Runner does get on first, but they get a sure out there, so they'll take that.
Back-to-back fielders' choices. That goes 1-5-6, in case you're scoring.
Hey, if you're Lubbock Cooper, if you can get out of this inning with no runs scored, that's a plus.
And going down to second base is the runner, Sylvie. And Sylvie stopped. Kind of surprised. Of course, Goolsby wasn't going to make that throw down to second base. It's Trey Jeans, the hitter, left-handed batter. And so that is a stolen base for Sylvie.
With first base open right now and a 2-0 count, I'm thinking maybe don't quite go in there with the strike. It's okay to let that runner get on base if you have to, but with the trouble that he's having on the mound right now in the early going of just throwing strikes, you know.
And now it is 3 balls and no strikes. A left-handed batter. You got a base open. A 2 away. I think that if you're Mosley, you don't feel like you have to throw a strike.
Exactly. Art Green behind the plate, the umpire today. It's the Corpus Christi chapter. He does have a pretty tight strike zone.
And that one was down the middle.
Yeah, at this point, you almost don't want to take a chance of walking another batter. That would be the third walk of the inning, and despite the fact that no runs have been given up yet, finding the plate has definitely been a chore so far.
Jean also serves as a pitcher. Fouls it back to the screen. The right fielder has now got a full count after falling behind 3-0. Mosley is just 1 strike away from getting out of a tough jam in this top of the first inning, and if he is able to do so, even though it is very early in the ball game, momentum clearly would go to Lubbock Cooper.
Yeah, big confidence booster.
Big pitch here with 2 away and 2 on. Ball 4 and a good eye by Trey Jeans, and he's able to go to first base. 3 walks in the inning have loaded the bases. Of course, one of those walks, Casey Rayburn, was picked off on a fielder's choice. So you have runner at third, which is Alsup, the runner at second, Sylvie, and Jeans, the runner at first, for Jared Bazelis. And the pitch from the righty. Now you want to be able to throw strikes because there's obviously no place to put Bayless. But Mosley, I think, as this inning has gone along, has relaxed just a little bit, especially when that second out was made at second base. That really relaxed the ball club, I think, if he's able to get out of this. The pitch. There's a high chopper in front of the mound, and they just get him. Oh, boy. Bayless was trying for an infield hit. Bases loaded, and they get out of the jam. And so after a half inning of play, Pleasant Grove nothing, and Lubbock Cooper just now coming into bat. So early on, we've already had some action at the top of the first inning as Pleasant Grove, the defending state champion, leading the bases loaded. And now it is Chase Freeman for Lubbock Cooper to lead it off. He'll be followed by the right fielder, Tyler Parr. Hitting third and playing shortstop is Scotland Church. Left fielder, Chandler Patterson, cleaning it up. Designated hitter is Stanton Keene. He's batting for the catcher, Cole Goldsby. Hitting sixth, Tanner Hahn. Seventh place, and the third baseman is Braden Hayward. Pitcher Ryan Mosley hits 8th, and the center fielder is Jordan Salas. He bats 9th. So Freeman, Parr, and Church, top 3. Peterson, Keen, Hahn, middle 3. Hayward, Mosley, and Salas are the bottom 3. Willigie, Dalton Willigie. We talked about this young man in our pregame, the left-hander, being caught by Case and Cordray. And he will face Freeman to lead it off in the bottom of the first inning. Dalton Willigie, senior, 5-0 on the season. He's not in the lineup offensively, as the designated hitter, Jared Bayless, who made that last out, right in front of the plate with the catcher Goldsby making the play. Chase Freeman fouls it down the third base side. Coaching over at third is Terry Baxter. Brad Wunschie is the coach over at first base for Lubbock Cooper. Count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pleasant Grove Hawks in the black uniforms. They beat West last year in the state championship game.
You know, Dalton Willigie, coming off that Tommy John surgery, played in Louisiana. You just don't hear a lot of pitchers going through Tommy John surgery at the high school level. Be interesting to see how he bounces back.
Breaking ball stays a little high, and the count is full at 3-2. And he was not active for most of the season. He didn't start pitching until the end of district play. Ball 4, and Freeman, a leadoff walk. Now, Willigie, a transfer. Remember, this is his first time on this big stage, and so he's got to have some jitters too, and obviously a leadoff walk, just like his mound counterpart, Ryan Mosley.
Yeah, he's got a 5-0 record. He's got the fastball, slider, change, and curve. Likes to mix up his pitches. Anytime you have a left-handed pitcher out there, it's always a little deceptive.
First pitch to Tyler Parr, the right fielder. As you can see his numbers, very good numbers, 327, 36 RBIs, the on-base percentage. He almost reaches half the time he's at the plate. This is the second time that the Lubbock Cooper Pirates have been to the state tournament. They lost in 2005 in the state championship game. Right here at Disch-Falk Field. Lost to Carthage. And the count is 2 balls, no strikes to Tyler Parr.
It's a little deceptive when you look at the field. The only actual dirt on that entire field is the pitching mound. You know, home plate, third, second, first, that's all part of that same artificial surface.
It's that the next turf, as they call it.
Players seem to like it. I've noticed a lot of players in games when they come play here, they like to slide into home, even if there's not a play at the plate. They want to see what it feels like. They want to know if it's going to be, you know, is it going to burn their chest? What is it going to feel like?
Well, and playing on a surface like this too, Jeff, that you also get a true bounce on any ball that is hit on the ground. It's not going to hit any pebbles. It's not going to hit the lip of the grass, the dirt. The only thing that would hit probably would be the base paths. And even the chalk line. That's not chalk lines. That's paint on the carpet.
It's good for double plays. It's just covering all of that ground in the outfield. That's a big challenge at the 3A level. I mean, 5A teams have a hard time doing it. 3A schools, I mean, you have to have some speed out there, especially at center field.
Yeah, because a ball in the gap could be a triple. Normally it's a double at these high school fields. On the right side, Willigie making the play, and Parr gets the sacrifice down as Freeman goes to second base.
Yeah, I had to get the sure out right there, and you saw from the performance in the first, at the top of the inning, important to throw strikes, taking out where you can get it. Both starting pitchers having troubles with walks early on, 3 walks in the early going. And as now Dalton Willigie with 1 walk here in the bottom of the first.
Scotland Church, 457 on the season. Well, he can hit.
Down the alleys, 340 and left, 325 down the line, 405 though in the power alleys. That's what really plays to the center field. You've got to cover some ground.
Church is going to be playing at Weatherford Junior College next year. And the first pitch. Ball, no strikes. It's hot out there with those black jerseys.
And if you look at Major League Baseball, that's the color. Everyone likes the black uniforms.
Yeah, and of course with that carpet, it gets it's very warm down there as well. So it's important that the starting pitcher throws strikes and doesn't labor early. Zap that energy pretty quick. But right now it looks like Willigee's breaking pitch is not breaking. And it is outside the strike zone, and it's missing quite a bit. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Already a runner at second base in the bottom of the first with Freeman a leadoff walk.
They'll start keying on that fastball if they think he can't get the slider and curve over. Definitely a hitter's count here at 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike.
And if you are Willigee, you don't want to make a mistake to this guy in the batter's box, Scotland Church, that .457 batting average. And the breaking pitch misses out there again. We have runners at first and second with 2 walks.
5 overall in the game. Not uncommon, first inning, high school baseball, state tournament, trying to get a feel for the situation, battling nerves. These guys have probably been up since 8 o'clock this morning. They've had a lot of time to think about it.
Now time is called as Craig Jones is going to have an entire meeting here on the infield. With catcher Cordray, Willigee, and his entire infield. The winner of this is going to get either Silsby or LaGrange, and that is coming up later this afternoon here at UFCU Dish Falk Field in Austin. And we'll have that game for you here on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.
Of course, Homer Bailey played for LaGrange.
State champions back in 2004.
Not too far here down the road on I-10.
Interesting story about Homer Bailey, which we'll touch on in the next game when he was at LaGrange. Chandler Patterson. First and second as the left-hander. Willigee brings it to the plate. And that it is a breaking pitch that finds the inner half of the plate.
A lot of the Austin area media, they kind of include LaGrange in their coverage. It's on Highway 71, about maybe an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes away. Good crowd here for this one. You consider the distance for these two teams from getting here.
Patterson .484 on the season. That is to be fouled. Well, Craig Jones he's out there just like the regular coach, the base coach, on the third base side.
Patterson has an .812 slugging percentage. That's pretty high.
Yeah, the on-base percentage was over 500 as well. He's down the count 0-2. Willigee wants to get a K here, and that just missed.
Yeah, Patterson with the 7 home runs and 47 runs batted in can really give his pitcher a boost by driving in a run here. That runner in scoring position at second.
Again, not being able to get that breaking pitch over for strikes. Willigee relies quite a bit on that curveball.
A lot of times pitchers in that first inning, they have to kind of find out what is the strike zone going to be. Is it low? Is it outside? Inside? What's he going to give me? Right now, you better just put it down the middle.
Here it is. Let's see if you can hit it, right?
Yeah.
Willigee, full count. In the air. Catcher Cordray will give way to the third baseman, and it's going to fall course, that is an infield fly. Runners advance.
Well, they were able to get the out at third base. That's the most important thing. So it actually worked out okay, but you could see they were all battling the sun. Nonetheless, 2 outs now. No infield fly rule called at all right there.
Stanton Keene.
Can't even call an error in the situation because they were able to get the out
Right.
at third.
Fielder's choice.
And Patterson, if you think about it, he really swung at ball 4. That ball was inside. So Cooper dodging a bullet, or Pleasant Grove dodging a bullet.
Just as Lubbock Cooper did in the top of the inning with the base running mistake. Casey Rayburn going too far off the bag at second base, and that ended up being the second out. Now, we've had a very eventful first inning.
Yeah. 5 walks already. That'll
No score in the ball game. Drop, pop up on the infield. Base running mistake.
Yeah, you're working through the nerves. You're working through being here at the state tournament all week long. All you've heard is going to Austin. What is it like? You hear from the alums. They tell you all about it. Puts a few butterflies in your belly.
Yeah, especially for Pleasant Grove, because they have been here before. And you heard Craig Jones talk about, well, that is a program thing. It's a community thing. It's not this team. Short way over to second for Perlman to Alsip, and that'll do it in the bottom of the first inning. Some activity and 2 men left on for Lubbock Cooper. Through 1, 0-0. Gerald Sanchez with Jeff Power from UFCU Dish Falk Field in Austin. Scoreless ball game through 1. It feels like there should be, maybe it's 5-4 or something like that. We had a lot of activity in that first inning, Jeff.
Yeah, and you look at the scoreboard, and there's just nothing but zeros up there. No runs, no hits, no errors, but that's what 5 walks can do early on in the game. It'll drive coaches crazy, but hey, it's all a wash. The first inning, we move on.
7, 8, and 9 do up for Pleasant Grove as we are in the top of the second inning. Mosley's first pitch to Hudson Hopkins. So the first inning is over. You got your jitters over. Now let's play ball, right?
That's it. That's the theory. I think both pitchers are still trying to figure out the strike zone. You know, what are you going to get from Art Green? Is he calling the low strike? Is he calling the higher strike, the corners? A lot of times, a lot of lower classification games that I've been to this year, that strike zone's pretty wide, but you get to the state tournament, tightens up a little bit.
So in our meeting with Terry Baxter, Lubbock Cooper's head coach, and we talked about, said, all right, tell me about Mosley. And he said, simply one word, project. Project. Yeah. And I kind of was surprised he would say that about his starting pitcher that's pitching in a state semifinal. But he said at the end of last year, we threw him out there on a couple of times, get his feet wet, and then he just took the bull by the horns. He really worked hard this summer. He went to Albuquerque, as that one misses the strike zone and Hopkins takes a walk. Went to Albuquerque along with some of the tech folks in Lubbock did a lot of work, and came back, plus fastball, so good slider, and he was able to make himself a really good starting pitcher this year, to the tune of a record of 10-1. And he has been their staff ace all year. And so he's getting the nod here today to pitch his team into their second state championship game in the school history. Jason Cordray down the count 0-1.
Terry Baxter is a Texas Tech grad, but I had a tough time finding him early on because he grew a beard since they took the photo here.
And the reason he did that, along with his assistant coaches, as this one's fouled, it's a playoff beard. They wanted to do it just like the major leaguers, have the playoff beard. Of course, the young men can't grow beards, so the coaches decided to grow beards. And so that is Baxter's. You get a shot of Baxter when he's at third base. Because I went up to him, and his picture, he's clean shaven. I said, immediately I picked up on it. I said, playoff beard? He says, yes. Fouled over into the first base dugout.
You see that in the NHL. You see it in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Although in Major League Baseball, they've kind of taken it to a whole new level. They let that thing grow all the way down, don't they? Some pitchers.
And in high school baseball, it's just a thing of unity. And you'll see a lot of times kids will shave their heads, or they'll dye it blonde. That was a popular thing in the mid-2000s. Show of team unity. The Woodlands in 2006 all did that.
Sure.
Speaking of the Woodlands, they're in the 5A tournament, being played over at Dell Diamond in Round Rock.
The goatee's a little more popular, I think, with maybe the high school kids.
Breaking pitch is fouled as the runner, Hopkins, was on his horse. A count of 1-2 strikes.
Can't expect the Duck Dynasty beard going on for the young high school lads.
Ryan Mosley, basically a two-pitch pitcher. Once in a while he'll throw in the slider, but his pitch, fastball, and the variations of the two-seam and the four-seam. 1-2 strikes. A two-seamer, of course, Jeff, as you know, that ball sinks. The four-seam is just, as they would say, cheese. 1-2 strikes the count.
I was watching over here in the corner. Brock Freeman is he's in a position over here for Lubbock Cooper where he's just literally just kind of hanging out where all the foul balls go and just catching them one after another.
Comebacker. Mosley's going to only have one play. Hopkins advances to second. 1-3 on the out. Cordray retired. One away in the top of the second inning. We've got a runner in scoring position now for the second straight inning for Pleasant Grove. They had a golden opportunity and were turned away. And just like any other level of ball that you play, it's important to get on their starting pitcher early. If you don't, then he's going to start to find his rhythm. Ball up the middle. And Jones will wave the runner home. The throw cut off by the first baseman, Hahn. And the game's first run is scored by the Hawks. Hopkins scores on the RBI single from the number 9 hitter, Joe Perlman.
Good piece of hitting right there by Perlman. Drove it where it was pitched, right up the middle. And Hopkins, you saw sliding into home plate despite no throw there. So want to get a feel for it.
Perlman with his 6th RBI of the season, and it's 1-0. And you like that out of your number 9 hitter. He's able to, and now he's going to second base. Not even a throw, and that's a steal.
Good jump right there by Perlman. He was off and running. A lot of times the catcher in that situation, he'll kind of look at his pitcher and say, hey, I'm not even going to throw it down if you're not going to watch him over there.
So the Pleasant Grove Hawks, after failing to score in the top of the first, jump on the starter Mosley here, and there's another hit to right field. The throw from the right fielder Parr comes in, but going to second is the hitter Alsop. The cutoff man didn't do his job, didn't cut it off, and as a result, an extra 90 feet for the Hawks.
And a good piece of coaching right there by Pleasant Grove's Craig Jones, too, holding up his runner, immediately letting his batter know, hey, get to second base, it's coming home. So now they've got 2 runners in scoring position, still only 1 out.
We see that at the high school level a lot. You see that kids very aggressive, take the extra 90 feet. Rayburn And that is a strike as the safety squeeze was on. Braden Hayward, the third baseman, was coming in on the play. Again, no one was covering the bag, so that meant that runner Perlman could go over to, or come all the way to home as much as he wanted.
The cutoff, one of the most underrated plays in all of baseball.
Pulls it back, comes up empty on the cut. 0-2. It is so important. You know, and there's the little nuances of the game. You know, in basketball, hit your free throws. But in baseball, it's the walks, it's the errors, and hitting that cutoff man. That is so important because that usually will result in an extra 90 feet.
And also the ability as the outfielder to throw the ball in low and hard so it can be cut off, but at the same time still can bounce in and have a play at the plate. Got to learn that too. You can't have one of those rainbow tosses from the outfield.
Because you want to give your catcher a chance. Or in that case, a second or third baseman who's taking the throw from the outfield. The 1-2 on the way, and it is cued foul.
I was watching a Texas Rangers game earlier this year, and they hit the ball out to the left fielder on the opposing team, and he just threw this rainbow toss from about the wall all the way into home. And I just remember the look on Ron Washington's face for the Rangers. He just said, well, everyone just go move up a base. We'll just take that extra base if you're going to give it to us.
This is an important part of the game as well. To the left side, and it's going to be an error by the shortstop. Church could not make the play. It'll result in another run. Perlman scores from third. Rayburn reaches on an E6. No RBI credited to Rayburn.
Yeah, one of those plays where it kind of handcuffed Church. He was coming in, and then he started thinking about where am I going to go with it next. He sees runners moving all over the place, and the next thing you know, he drops the ball. Forgets the most important thing. You've got to catch it first.
Alsop almost made a base running mistake, going a little bit too far, and Church almost miraculously made that tag. Now you got runners on the corners with one away, 2-0 Hawks. Runners going to second base, and it's thrown into center field. Stolen base, and then an E2.
Well, two situations happened right there. Chase Freeman at second base, he kind of came in a little too close to where the pitcher was, I think, and the ball ends up sailing over his head because the catcher's thinking, hey, I'm going to throw the ball to where second base is, and Cole Gooseby will be the first to tell you, hey, that ball was pretty much on the money, but if you're going to come and try to cut it off 10 feet in front, you need to let me know that. As it sails into the outfield.
The infield has come in, and this one is bunted foul on the on-deck circle on the first base side to the hitter, Ty Harp.
So quite a few mistakes here on the defensive side of the ball here for Lubbock Cooper. You don't really see that with teams that make it to the state tournament. You can say nerves what you will, but, you know, this is not the time to make mental mistakes.
3 runs in this inning. Mosley on the right side, and they're not going to get the out anywhere. Another run. Rayburn. Harp does his job. Fielder's choice, RBI for Ty Harp.
I tell you what, Pleasant Grove is doing a really nice job of just pressuring the entire defense for Lubbock Cooper.
Taking the extra 90 feet.
Every extra 90 feet they can get.
Absolutely. Just putting the pressure in right now. It is another visit from Terry Baxter. It is just him and Mosley, not even the catcher Goolsby.
And the one time they didn't take the extra feet, they were able to pick up an extra base in the process. On the ball not being cut off. It's that time of game right now where if you're Cooper, you got to settle down. You're down 4-0 right now. You're playing a team that's used to being here. This game can get out of hand.
Well, you don't want that to happen because you still have plenty of game left, and so you want to give yourself a chance.
Of course, the mercy rule is 10 in high school baseball.
All right, we're a bit a ways from that, though. Sylvie. Fielder's choice and a stolen base his first time up. He's 0 for 1.
No activity in the bullpens yet.
This could be 2, and it is. Gets him out of the inning. Sylvie to a 4-6-3 double play. 4 runs on 2 hits and 2 errors. Nobody left on. Middle of the second, Pleasant Grove a 4-0 lead. Pleasant Grove 4-0 now as we are in the bottom of the second inning. So Lubbock Cooper is going to have their work cut out for them, trailing by 4 runs early in the ballgame. Though it is early, and you don't need a grand slam, you just need base runners and put the pressure on the Pleasant Grove Hawks and Dalton Willigie. Willigie was by no means perfect in his first inning. First pitch is ball 1 to Hahn.
Well, stranger things have happened. Last week we were at a game where Rockwall played the Woodlands and they were up 3-0, and the Woodlands came back and scored 12 runs in the next inning. So you just stay within yourself. No lead is insurmountable.
Right side, Rayburn, and it's going to drop. That sun is a problem. Alsip, the second baseman, Jeans coming in from right field. Blinded by the light.
Yeah, it is being ruled a hit, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine that would be a hit.
Hit it where they ain't, as they say. That ball just found a pocket. But that's the outfielder's play. You got to make that play right there. Find a way to come in full speed ahead. Trey Jeans out there in right. Probably should have called off the second baseman. Youngsters out there, it's much easier to come in and catch a ball than it is to backpedal or try to catch one over your shoulder if you're in the infield running out towards the outfield. That's why the outfielder always calls off the infielder in that situation.
Braden Hayward, 367 on the season.
And Lubbock Cooper, with a chance here to try to get back in it. Take advantage of some miscues on the other side.
Up the middle. That was a solid single by Hayward, and the center fielder, Sylvie, misplays, but it is not far enough to where Hahn can go to third base. Back-to-back hits to start the bottom of the second inning for Lubbock Cooper. So this is exactly what you want if you're the Pirates.
And how about Ryan Mosley? This is exactly what he wants. He can make a difference right here. He's the pitcher, but now he's coming up to bat. He can get 2 of those runs back real quick.
So the lefty Willigie will go from the stretch as he's got runners at first and second. Mosley, the right-handed batter, breaking pitch way high and outside, ball 1. That breaking pitch hasn't been there in the first inning plus for Dalton Willigie.
If you're at the plate in this game, you make that pitcher work. Work that count. Let him throw a strike first. There's been way too many walks in this game already. Make him throw strikes.
Willigie, you mentioned the Tommy John surgery, Jeff. It was after the state tournament when he played last year in Louisiana that he had the Tommy John surgery. So he played in the state tournament last year in Louisiana. Now he's playing here in Texas.
Good cut. Good cut.
And he challenges the hitter Mosley, his mound counterpart. Mound opponent versus mound opponent.
Quite a few more high schools in the state of Texas. Not necessarily that the competition level would be higher, but at least with more teams, you would think it would increase the chances.
Bunt. Left side. And it is dropped by the third baseman, Perlman. It was a good play by Willige to get off the mound. He made a good throw. The third baseman, Perlman, couldn't hold on to it.
Willige's got to go to first in that play. Now, I know his momentum is taking him to third, but look at that. The guy's already almost to the bag. He's already in what would be called the dirt. Don't throw it there. You're up 4-0. You need an out right there. Throw it to first.
Mosley, they're going to have a courtesy runner with Chase Andrews over at first. So Chase Andrews is running for Ryan Mosley.
Be a pretty cool job just being a courtesy runner. You know, maybe you run track or something, you're really fast, get to put on a uniform, come out to the state tournament. Your job is just to run the bases. Just don't do anything stupid out there.
There's a kid in the Cincinnati Reds minor league system. He's super fast. He's there for his speed, average hitter, but in minor leagues he stole over 100 bases a couple of years in a row. Might get a call. And so that's going to do it for the left-hander Willige. Doesn't even get an out in the second inning. There's a new pitcher. And the new pitcher is Jared Bayless.
Yeah, Gerald Bayless coming on, 6-4 record, 1.89 earned run average, and just over 77 innings pitched. Does have the 70 strikeouts, and right now it's all about throwing strikes. I mean, Craig Jones pulled his starting pitcher because he just gave him 4 runs. And for the fact that Lubbock Cooper has loaded up the bases on a walk and some mistakes, that'll make a coach make a quick change.
So it is Bayless that will come on in relief. And the bases are loaded. Inning started off with back-to-back hits. Hahn, just a bloop shot down the right field line in between the second baseman, Alsop, Trey Jeans, the right fielder, kind of that no man's land down the right side. But a solid single by Hayward. Looked like it whizzed right past Willige. He might have got a piece of him, but it whizzed right past him. That was hit very well. And then, of course, the bunt attempt by Mosley.
Hey, make him pitch to you, kid.
You hear the fans there, make him pitch. That's really the mantra of the entire game so far. If you're a batter, make him throw strikes.
So
bases loaded.
Willige is now going to be the designated hitter, or he will be the DH, as it is now Bayless. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. Actually, according to our stats monitor, it says Willige to DH, but Bayless is the DH. I would imagine that he would just hit for himself.
Some good heat right there by Bayless. He can bring it.
Number 9 hitter Jordan Salas, the center fielder.
Right now it's all about throwing strikes. I'm sure the first thing that Jones told him was, hey, give me some strikes. I mean, Craig Jones knows just as well as anybody else right now who's watching this game that you need strikes.
Climbs the ladder. Salas comes up empty on that swing.
I mean, you can't defend a walk. You've got 7 guys directly behind you, so use them.
This is a big spot here with 2 youngsters, a sophomore on the mound and a freshman at the plate. And a breaking pitch is in for strike 3 called. Salas got with the bat on his shoulder. 3 pitches.
Yeah, Salas was just frozen right there. I think he felt like he wasn't expecting that off-speed pitch, and it just totally caught him off guard. Was hoping that it would be inside, but it ends up being strike 3.
Actually, there was 4 pitches. Beg your pardon on that, but nonetheless, that is a big out because it doesn't advance the runners. 1 away with Freeman at the plate, and he takes high and inside.
Of course, Freeman walked to start everything in the first inning, and he's got a chance here to drive in a couple of runs. They need to get back into the game right now. Bases loaded, now 1 out. Golden opportunity. Throwing strikes is key. Foul counts just like a strike, so far so good for Bayless. He's looked pretty good.
Well, he can be a local hero here if he gives them a good outing. The sophomore. Popped it up. Can it stay in play? Catcher Cordray is going to run out of room. Good effort, though, by Cordray.
Yeah, Freeman swung at a ball right there. Don't want to do anyone any favors right now. Bayless is, so far in this game, has probably thrown more strikes than the other two starters. So the situation as it calls for it, there's a feeling that you've got to go ahead and take that bat off your shoulder now because the pitcher's throwing strikes. When you throw strikes, things happen. Usually good.
Yeah, it also keeps your infielders on their toes, outfielders as well, your fielders behind you, because you throw in ball after ball after ball, then it makes your fielders behind you just kind of lulls them to sleep almost. You talk to guys that play behind a quick worker, fast worker, they like that.
Mm-hmm. Stay ready.
1-2 the count. Freeman.
Broadcasters like it too.
Catcher sets away. And it's a foul ball. Well, now if this was infield grass, if this was that was natural grass, it might have had a chance to stay up, but it's going to get a true roll when you're on this carpet.
And I'm thinking in that situation right there, Cordray, try to find a way to grab that ball a little quicker. You've got a sure out right behind you, or you can just tag him. And with the bases loaded and only one out, I mean, that was like a gift right there. They didn't open the gift.
Well, Bayless would like to get another strikeout. He's got 2 strikes here.
Oh.
Into left. And that will get the game's first run to score for the Pirates. RBI single for Freeman. Good job of hitting by Freeman.
It's a game of inches. He should have fouled out or maybe grounded out to the catcher, if you will, but instead gets one more chance, makes them pay. Nice piece of hitting there for Freeman. First RBI, first run here for Lubbock Cooper.
So Hahn scores from third, and everybody moves up 90 feet. Andrews and Hayward advance. Hayward at third, Andrews at second. Now Freeman at first. One away with Tyler Parr, the right fielder. And he swings at the first pitch and hits it into center field. Sylvie broke in. Now he has to go back. And the runners will advance 90 feet from third and from second. Sac fly RBI.
Cooper will take that. Nice job there by Tyler Parr, giving that ball a ride. He knew the minute he hit it. I saw that look of, that's okay, I'll take that out. I know that's going to bring in a run. He knew he got it.
Hayward scores from third, and advancing 90 feet is Andrews, the courtesy runner for Ryan Mosley. Goes from second to third. Runners on the corners, 2 runs home for Lubbock Cooper in the bottom of the second inning. Scotland Church.
You know, even though it's only a 7-inning game, you don't have to get all those runs back right away. Cutting that lead in half, that's a nice effort right there by Cooper, getting back into it now 4-2.
And any time that happens, of course, the fans always cry for a balk. Major League Baseball, they have ruled that if you do that, that is a balk. You can't do that. They still do it at this level, though.
Well, once you take your foot off the rubber, you can pretty much do whatever you want, but the key is if you've got your foot on the rubber, you can't make that fake.
That is the definition of a balk. Deception to the runner. Can't do that. Got a 1 ball and no strikes. Backing off the plate, Church.
And probably still one of the most misunderstood calls in baseball, the balk. I mean, not everybody picks up on balk situations. Some umpires are different than others and what they see out there.
Right. They want the pitcher to come to a defined complete stop. As you see right there, Bayless coming to the complete stop, driven into center field. And Sylvie going back and makes the play. And that's a tough out there because Church is a very good hitter. They leave a couple, but they get 2 runs on 3 hits. And 2 men left on with no errors in the inning. We're through 2. A lot of action so far in these first 2 innings. It is 4-2, Pleasant Grove. 2013 Texas High School Baseball State Championships, the UIL, presented by State Farm. Class 3A state semifinal here with the Pleasant Grove Hawks from Texarkana and the Cooper Pirates from Lubbock. A 4-2 game right now for the Hawks, and leading off in the top of the third, it is Trey Jeans. Ryan Mosley, starting pitcher. Gave up the 4 runs, but he was able to shut it off inside and low.
Hey, balance! Balance!
Trey Jeans, so many storylines for Texarkana. And of course, one of them being Trey Jeans. Shows bunt. That's in for a strike. 2-1.
I remember covering Pleasant Grove last year in the state tournament. Gotta love the numbers. Absolutely huge. Biggest numbers you'll see on the back of a baseball player.
Yeah, you got the inner half of the plate right there, Mosley.
You know, you have some teams that'll wear white numbers on white jerseys, you know, for some reason I've never quite figured out.
Or what's worse, in football, you have white jerseys and very bright yellow numbers.
Yes.
It's like Klein Oak.
Yes.
Can't see it very well from the field. Looks nice on TV, but from the stands, it's kind of hard to see.
You'll get that glare.
Full count here to Trey Jeans, and he hits it onto the right side. First baseman Hahn will take it himself. On away.
Well, he had to kind of pick up the pace there on his little trot to first. Jeans was going all out. You like to see that, you know, even on a routine grounder right to the first baseman. Run it out. Put a little pressure on him.
And you know, you never know. Sometimes a guy might slip. You just never know, and that's why you're always taught hustle down the line, no matter what, even on a routine pop-up.
And I don't think there's any question that Pleasant Grove, I like what I've seen from them in this game already, the way they run the bases, the way they hustle. They make things happen.
Bayless 0 for 1, and Bayless was the last out in the first inning, and he hit that ball that was right in front of home plate. And the catcher, Goolsby, remember, it just kind of looked like he just kind of took his time.
Yeah.
And it was very, very close at first. They were able to get out of it with the bases loaded, a no-run score. Then, of course, the Hawks were able to put across 4 in the second inning. To the left side, third baseman Hayward, and the throw, 2 away.
And a nice job by the first baseman there for Lubbock Cooper. Coming off the bag, but staying cool. Tanner Hahn just applies the tag. The runner's running towards you. It's not an absolute necessity that you have your foot on the bag, but you do have to make sure you're in position to make the tag.
Hudson Hopkins, a sophomore, down the middle, strike call. Well, maybe this is the inning that Mosley turns things around and gets his mojo back. That's where he was able to, so far, get 2 quick outs. And have you noticed that when those outs come, now he's working at a much quicker pace?
I have. It's that confidence. Wants to get back to that dugout. Either that or maybe he's getting a little warm out there. And it's contagious. You see a couple of quick outs. The momentum's going. You're pumped up. You want to throw strikes. There's no one on base, so why not throw a strike? Not trying to nibble as much on the corners. Pretty hard to hit a home run out of this part.
Oh, that was close. And you can tell by the body language, Mosley wanted that call.
And most pitchers will tell you, I need that lower half. I need that lower part of the plate, that lower part of the strike zone. Because you can work that lower part of the strike zone all day long and get a lot of ground ball outs.
Yeah, it frustrates hitters. They like it middle in. At least I did as a right-handed batter. Foul ball, fielded by the head coach Craig Jones.
And that one was middle in right there. But when you throw the ball low consistently around the knees, it is just much harder. If you think about the trajectory of the bat, it's having to go up to hit the ball. Tougher to actually make good contact.
And a 2-out walk. Hopkins, the second time he has walked. He led off the second inning with a walk and then eventually scored the game's first run for Pleasant Grove.
Kason Cordrea will step up now. He's loosening up the gear. Catchers come up to the plate. Sometimes they've got half their gear on. They're not sure if they're going to have to bat or not. Don't want to have to go to all that extra work.
Right. And so now the backup catcher will get his gear in case that he's got to go warm up the pitcher in the next inning. Cordrea 0 for 1, grounded back to the pitcher Mosley, and that was the second. That was the first out of the second inning. Now the second base umpire coming in. J.R. Castillo, I should say. Art Green behind the plate, and you mentioned him earlier. It's fouled. Larry Amaya at first base, J.R. Castillo at second, and Eddie Silvas, the third base umpire, visited with them before the ball game.
Yeah, it's a Corpus Christi chapter, and they were telling us that it's a game-by-game basis. They don't even know if they're going to be around for tomorrow, or even the next game.
Runner goes on the 0-1. It's punched up in the air, and it's Hahn making the pop-up catch. 2-out walk. Hopkins, he's stranded at first. Middle of the third, a 2-run lead for Pleasant Grove. Four runs on 2 hits for Pleasant Grove, and 2 runs on 3 hits for Lubbock Cooper. They've also committed a couple of errors in which has helped Hawks with their 2-run lead. Bottom of the third inning. Chandler Patterson Jared Bayless on in relief came on in the second inning. Willigie threw 1+ inning. 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks. 34 pitches, 16 of them were strikes.
Looking at some of the baseball state tournament records in Class 3A, a couple of Pleasant Grove players from the past have actually had 3-hit games at the Conference 3A level, including Melvin Gray and also John Phillips. Gray in 2010, John Phillips in 2007. A lot of players from the Pleasant Grove in the record books.
One playing in the major leagues. Just got his first major league debut last week against Kansas City. Michael Walker, a pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, was on the 08 team. That was that first state tournament run that they had with Craig Jones as the head coach, and they've made it. That was that first of 6 in a row. This is the 6th year. Michael Walker with the Cardinals now.
But Craig will tell you, it's tough to get here. That's one thing. It's tough to win 2 games here. They've only done it twice. They won the 2012 state championship and the 2010 state title.
And Bayless swing and a miss on Patterson. 1 out.
I like what I've seen from Bayless. He's got good heat, works those corners, throws strikes.
That was a breaking pitch there on the off speed. Stanton Keene, the designated hitter. Up the middle, fielded by Harp, and that's the 2nd out. Good play. Had a range to his left. He made the play.
With a name like Ty Harp, he has to be a good baseball player, right? I don't know too many guys named Ty who don't play baseball.
2 quick outs here for Jared Bayless.
Hello. That one kind of slipped out of his hand right there. Maybe a little bit of sweat, you know. The temperature's over 90 now, 91 degrees. Sometimes that curveball will slip out of your hand.
Two 2-0 the count. There's, you know, the running joke now for pitchers, use the sunscreen and put it on the ball a little bit. They're always trying to come up with new ways to take advantage, aren't they?
Oh.
Dropped by the second baseman also. That's going to be an error.
That sun has been a problem right there in that spot. We've seen now 3 plays in that general area that have not been made. It just must be perfectly sitting right above where that roof line is as we look at the replay here. You see, first of all, the first baseman calls it off. I can't find it. There's your first clue. And then the second baseman, by the time he kind of gets on the ball, thinks he's got it, also can't make the grab, loses it at the last second. It's not like he was looking for a runner on base or something, you know, he just lost it looked like. You know, I can understand why maybe your thoughts are on a runner or something that would cause you to lose the ball, but no excuse there. Nobody was on. 2 outs.
Braden Hayward. See if they can take advantage of that 2-out error and blossom into something.
Yeah, we've had 3 errors in the game. I think 2 of them maybe directly related to the sun. It's an adjustment. I mean, think about it. These kids are used to playing probably at 7 o'clock. That's the typical high school baseball game. Occasionally on the weekends, you know, you'll play an afternoon game. But it's an adjustment, that high sky, 1 o'clock.
Into right, and Jean makes the play. Nice play by Trey Jeans. 2-out error, does not come back and hurt Pleasant Grove. 4-2 Hawks over the Pirates. Pleasant Grove 4 and Lubbock Cooper 2. Top of the 4th inning. And it is the Hawks. Will send up their number 9 hitter, Joe Perlman. Perlman with his 6th RBI of the season. Got the game's first run across with Hopkins scoring in the 2nd inning. Leads it off in the top of the 4th. Eventually, he stole a base and then came around to score. Mosley in his 4th inning of work. And of course, you don't have the 27 outs to work with in a 9-inning game. You only have 21 outs in a 7-inning game. And so that is why you mentioned this earlier, Jeff. You can't let teams run away and hide. You've got to keep it close. Give yourself a chance because it's just that much tougher. And you don't have as many outs to work with as in a 9-inning game as you do in a 7-inning game.
You know, talking about Pleasant Grove and being here so often, no team has been to the state tournament 6 consecutive years at the Class 3A level.
Swing and a miss, and that is 1 out in the inning. And in fact, it is you've got to go back to San Antonio South San, back in the late 50s, early 60s. Cliff Gustafson, the head coach here at University of Texas, was the coach over there. South San, the last team, I believe, to make it 6 years in a row.
In Conference 4A, that's correct. 63
right.
to 68. And Texarkana here, 6 in a row, dating back to 2008 here at Class 3A level. Forney, the next nearest school, with 4 consecutive. That was from 1999 to 2002 in Class 3A. And speaking of holidays, the only other team that's had 6 consecutive appearances here, and that was in Class 2A.
2 balls and 1 strike. Alsop. He's got a count of 3-1. Of course, Alex Alsop has dedicated the rest of this season to his father that passed away this year. Passed away at the start of the season. Roy Alsop, the father, big supporter of his son, and passed away from cancer. And an interesting story, Craig Jones was the one that told Alex that his father had passed. He pulled him out of the practice, swing and a miss, struck him out, and had to tell him. And Craig told me that was the toughest thing that he ever had to do as a head coach. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ryan Mosley in the 4th inning. Brings up Casey Rayburn. Rayburn, first baseman, reached on a error his last time up, scored a run. So Mosley is now 1 out away from getting his first 1-2-3. He was also 1 out away with Hopkins in the 3rd inning when he walked Hopkins. But trying for his first 1-2-3. There's the 1-0 on the way. Inside.
You know, you think about small towns, mother and father, maybe both work. Your coach is the big, almost like a father figure to you. I mean, he's someone that's with you almost more than your own dad.
Base hit into center. That is hit number 3 for Pleasant Grove.
And think about how many weeks consecutive you're talking about here for baseball season for these 2 teams alone. I mean, they've been playing an extra 6 weeks. They get all that extra practice, but that's, more time away from the family.
And Craig Jones had mentioned that too. He said, the baseball season in high school sports is the longest of any sport. It's longer than football. It's longer than basketball. It's the longest. So you're around each other day in and day out, even on Sundays. They hang out at the batting cages. They work. They have to work on their own, obviously, on Sundays, but they're together so much, and it's just that camaraderie. And Coach Jones was talking about how the camaraderie on this team really wasn't there at the beginning of the season when they were 10-10, but they kept playing, and then there was that altercation in the playoffs with a bench-clearing brawl. Breaking pitch, that's in for a strike against Princeton in the playoffs. The Princeton catcher elbowed one of the players for Pleasant Grove coming in on the plate, bench-clearing brawl. Wow. And strangely, he said that's the point that he knew that this team was all together on one page.
One for all.
And here they are playing in the state tournament. again for the 6th consecutive season. Freeman underhand toss. Harp is retired, and so are the Hawks in the top of the 4th inning. 2-run lead. Cooper coming up to bat in the bottom of the 4th with their 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Four to 2. Pleasant Grove, as you see the UIL building. Off in the distance, UFCU Dish Falk Field. Gerald Sanchez along with Jeff Power, and the first pitch is in for a strike to the batter, Ryan Mosley, the pitcher. Jared Bayless. Let's see what happens here with Bayless, and another inning of relief. Came on in the 2nd inning, and so far he has held on to that 2-run lead.
Today's game brought to you by State Farm. For discounts that could add up to 40% and put a few extra dollars in your pocket, get your budget to a better state by calling a local State Farm agent today. Be sure and visit texas.statefarm.com.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Mosley reached on a sacrifice bunt. The 1-2.
Good
breaking pitch in for a strike 3 called. Mosley's gone.
Yeah, that's one pitcher tipping his hat to another.
Now, I want to go and correct myself. Mosley with the sacrifice bunt, but he reached on the fielder's choice because at that time Willigie made the throw over to third, and that was safe, and so the runner Mosley was on at first base. In for a strike to Jordan Salas.
Yeah, that was the 2nd inning. And in that inning, Salas struck out right after Mosley had gotten to 2nd. You don't see Cooper's socks too much in baseball anymore. Maybe the St. Louis Cardinal look, but you don't see that too much in high school sports.
Into right field, and Jeans making the play. Jeans with good range. You had mentioned it earlier because the vastness of this outfield. Got to cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, definitely good range there. That ball seemed to stay up a little bit longer, too, for him, but a lot of that was just pure speed.
Chase Freeman, second baseman. Bayless is settling down himself. Deep in the hole, Harp, not going to be in time.
Yeah, tough play to make right there. You're almost hoping if you're the shortstop that the third baseman can somehow cut that one off. He's kind of got that running start. He's about a good 15 to 20 feet in front of you, so the ball doesn't have to travel as far when he throws it. But by the time it gets to the shortstop, when he's in the back part there of the 5-6 hole, as they call it, that's a tough play to make.
So neither team has recorded their opponent in order with outs. A 2-out hit here with Freeman. The infield hit. Tyler Parr, right fielder.
You know, both teams have kind of settled down a little bit. That 2nd inning, you know, Grove had 4 runs, Cooper had 2. And really, like you said, the 1st inning, there was 5 walks in that inning. It was amazing we got out of that with no runs scored. But since those first 2 innings, things have kind of settled down. Both teams showing us why they got here.
Now, Willigie just didn't have command of his breaking pitches, and so he was taken out in the 2nd inning without recording an out, and Bayless has pitched since the 2nd. Ball gets away from the first baseman, Rayburn. And going to second is Freeman. Both teams now with 2 errors apiece. E1.
Yeah, with 2 outs, you hate to see that. You don't want to put the guy in scoring position because he could score from second easily with 2 outs. He's going to be running on contact. One of the little nuances of baseball, as you talked about. The question is, can Cooper make him pay?
The look back and the pitch.
Disch-Falk Field, 1975 they opened. Texas used to play at Clark Field. Had a very unusual center field over there. Kind of had that Barton Springs look in center field below the fence.
They started playing the state tournament in Round Rock in 2001. In the year 2000, that was when they had that rain delay, and they kept on having those rain delays. They ended up playing like on a Wednesday. You know, the games are usually scheduled for Friday, Saturday for 5A. They ended up having to go into Wednesday of next week because they've had so much rain. And then the next year, that's when Tropical Storm Allison hit in the Houston area. They had all that rain down there while they were having the state tournament here. 2-2 the count. Tyler Parr. Dell Diamond is the host for 1A, 2A, 4A, and 5A, as they have been the last several years, and the ball is fouled off. The 3A has been here at Disch-Falk Field, and they've done a lot of renovations to Disch-Falk.
But I think everyone will tell you that having 2 sites works out so much better. There's a less chance of having delays in games and getting started off a little bit later. You can sort of schedule out the whole week a little better. Plus, let's face it, this area of Austin, a lot of congestion down here, this downtown area.
Parr's got a 2-2 and goes after a pitch outside the strike zone, and he knew it. He's frustrated with himself, and the Pirates come away with nothing here in the bottom of the 4th. Two-run lead for Pleasant Grove as we start the 5th inning on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Mosley, 5th inning of work. First pitch to Dylan Sylvie, the center fielder, missing for a ball.
Don't forget High School Spotlight. Get the inside scoop on high school sports and notes from all around the UIL athletics, only on Fox Sports Southwest.
Neil Beasley usually puts that together. Good job, as always.
Yeah, he's in town this week. A lot going on here with the state baseball tournament. Saw him last week with state softball.
Here's the 1-1 on the way, and it is back up the middle, and no one is going to make a play on it.
I know exactly what just happened there. The deflection off the glove just kind of it changed the spin of the ball and completely caused that error.
They ruled it a hit, actually.
Okay.
So that is ruled a hit. Both teams with 4 hits. Sylvie infield single. He's at first base. Trey Jeans, the right fielder. Mentioned about Alex Alsip and his father passing away. Trey Jeans, his grandmother had passed away this year, the hitter. And so they have used, the Pleasant Grove Hawks have used those certain situations to rally around the deaths of loved ones on this ball club. Trey Jeans, 0 for 1, has made a couple of good plays in right field with his speed. And also Paul Tillis, one of the assistants for Pleasant Grove. His grandmother had passed away, or his dad had passed away, I beg your pardon, a couple of weeks ago. So there's been some sorrow on this ball club, and they're just using that as reasons and dedicating their seasons to their loved ones that have passed this year. And Craig Jones had said this is one of the most toughest, most difficult years I've ever had as a head coach, or as a player, he said, for that matter.
But yet here they are.
Yep.
We just saw the LaGrange Leopards entering the building. They'll take on the Silsbee Tigers following this game here on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.
4 pitches. Mosley missing the strike zone. Mosley didn't walk a batter in the 4th, but he's walked a batter in every other inning, though. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, now here in the 5th. He has 6 walks in the ball game. Mosley is at 89 pitches, has only thrown 47 strikes. Make that 90 pitches, beg your pardon. 47 strikes. Runners at 1st and 2nd. Now this is a very important moment again. If you're Lubbock Cooper, you don't want to see them run off.
And Terry Baxter's coming out to talk to his pitcher. And Mosley, he knows he probably should have had an out there at the start, and he's coming out of the game now. As you mentioned, you get up to about 90 pitches. You know, it's a lot of pitches on a day when the temperature's pounding on 90 plus. Got to throw strikes.
So new pitcher. Scotland Church comes in from the shortstop position.
Hey, he's got a 9-1 record. And let's face it, the mindset of Terry Baxter is we have to win this game. We cannot think about what could possibly set up for tomorrow. I will throw whatever pitcher I need to throw in this situation to win this ball game. They've done a nice job of keeping Pleasant Grove in check over the last couple of innings. You're only down 2 runs. You want to keep this game close. He feels like right now his best chance of doing that is by going to his shortstop, Scotland Church. He is a senior. Not only bats .458, but that 9-1 record is impressive as one of the starting pitchers for the Pirates.
Stanton Keene, the designated hitter, now comes in to catch for Cole Goolsby. Mason Gillis comes in to play second base. And Chase Freeman goes from second base to shortstop. Scotland Church comes from shortstop to the mound. And the new catcher is Stanton Keene. He will bat for himself in the number 6 spot.
Scott Church has got some good speed, good breaking ball, likes to throw his changeup. Not uncommon to see a shortstop slide over and become your pitcher. Usually the shortstop has to have a good strong arm to make those throws in that 5-6 hole we talked about earlier. They usually can pitch pretty well, usually have good accuracy. Rarely see a shortstop who can't throw the ball well and accurate. But he's in a tough situation right here with 2 on, nobody out, and Cooper trailing 4-2.
They have to keep it right here if they want a great chance Top of the 5th inning, there's nobody out. Church, the righty, will go from the stretch. Bunt attempt by Bayless, and it goes to the backstop.
Well, we saw that happen twice during warm-ups, and you got to be careful. He just gave up 2 free bases.
So wild pitch. Moves him up 90 feet. Nobody out. The infield comes in.
Thought for a second they had the suicide squeeze on. We've been seeing that more and more lately with teams trying to put that extra pressure on.
Safety squeeze, yeah.
Just any way to another run here would be huge for Pleasant Grove. Outside of that 2nd inning, a lot of goose eggs up there. 3 other innings where no runs were scored.
Now he's fallen behind, 3 balls and no strikes.
It's always the risk when you bring in another pitcher. You're not sure what you're going to get.
Well,
a little high.
Fans don't like it behind home plate. Bases are loaded. Sylvie at 3rd, Jeans at 2nd. And Bayless, the pitcher, will come out for a courtesy runner. That is Blake Roberts, a sophomore.
Yeah, Blake Roberts got some good speed. He's over at first now. Bases loaded. Right now you're thinking, let's get a force play at home. Maybe do the old throw it to home over to first and get a double play, but need outs.
He had him come close on his 5 pitches.
Infield in right now, trying to make a play at the plate, but they need a strike in order to make any kind of play. There it is.
1 ball, 1 strike. Pleasant Grove hitting in the top of the 5th. Curveball missing high.
He's left that curveball up a few times. Hit a little wild.
Church, we mentioned that he is headed to Weatherford Junior College. Popped up right to the second baseman, Gillis to Hahn. That's a double play.
Just what the doctor ordered. Take care of the batter and the runner on first in one shot. There's now 2 outs and runners on 2nd and 3rd. Talk about being positioned in the right place, right to the second baseman.
If he's playing back at normal depth, he doesn't make the line drive catch. It's probably a 1-hopper.
Then you have to turn the double play and a run scores.
Yes. Now it is 2 away as Roberts is erased on the base paths. Sylvie still at 3rd. Jeans is still at 2nd. And the hitter is Cordray. 2-0. You don't want that great double play to go to waste. If you are Lubbock Cooper, not even close again. Well, the count is. That was actually on the inner half of the plate.
How big was that double play?
Yeah, it was big. That's in there.
Cordray, the catcher, chance to bust this game open. Single drives in 2 in a 4-2 game. Especially when you think about who's on at second base over there, Trey Jeans. He's got that great speed. He'll score on pretty much anything hit out of the infield.
Yeah, especially with 2 outs, runner going on contact. Breaking pitch.
Yeah, I did.
And it is missing. Cordray had a notion, but he laid off.
Jeans has been taking some big leads off second base. I was thinking for a second the catcher was going to throw that one down, but of course that'd be a huge risk with the runner at 3rd.
The 3-2. Here's the pitch. Ball 4.
You're all right.
Cordray walks. Well, the bases are loaded again. So far in this ball game, 5 men have been left on by the Pleasant Grove Hawks. Cordray will come out for a courtesy runner. Matthew Johnson, senior.
Perlman had a single in the second and scored in that inning.
Perlman, the number 9 hitter. Littlest guy in the ball club, but
I say Perlman's going to have to. It's going to have to be low.
And it's 2-0. Well, when you're of that height, it's tough for a pitcher to find the strike zone. 2-1.
If you think about it, Perlman, he probably has to only worry about a 1 foot area up and down as far as where that strike zone is. He can really zone in on that. He can be a hero right here with a base hit. Already has one for the day.
2-1. No place to put Perlman. Scotland Church from the full wind here with the 3-1. And here it is.
On top of that, Perlman really crowds the plate, so he takes out the width part of the plate as well.
Smart ball player. And with the 3-2 count and 2 outs, runners will start their engines. Here it is. And the run scores on a bases-loaded walk. 5-2. Texarkana Pleasant Grove. Perlman has gotten 2 RBIs, his 6th and 7th RBIs of the season here in the number 9 spot today. Got the game's first run home in the second inning and then brings home run number 5. Scoring Sylvie from third base. Top of the order, Alex Alsop, the second baseman. Scotland Church, command of the strike zone is not there right now. The 2-0.
Got the inside corner right there.
Get it down now. Let him hit it. They don't swing. Atta, baby.
2-2. Alsop, who 1 for 2, a walk in the first, single run scored in the second, struck out swinging in the fourth. Batting with the team in on every base in the top of the 5th. And he hits it into left center. Salas, the center fielder. And that'll do it in the top of the 5th for Pleasant Grove. A run on 1 hit. No errors, 3 men left on. Pleasant Grove with a run in the top of half of this inning, extending their lead to 5-2. Now it is the pitcher, Scotland Church, leading it off. Will it stay in play? It will not. 5 runs, 4 hits. Fans in the sunshine today, and it is hot.
Yeah, usually the fans kind of move up towards the shade, and you get this misrepresentation of how many fans are here because so many of them are sitting in the upper section where it's a little more shaded. But the fans weathering the sun today. Want that strike zone look from behind home plate.
And part of the renovations that they did were have seats down the right field and left field lines here. Church down the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Expanded the upper deck, put some suites up in here. Now us media folks are in the air conditioning, but it's still hot. 1-2. And it will be the center fielder, Sylvie, making the play. Church flies out for the first out in the bottom of the 5th. Yeah, but most of the fans, you can get a shot of them maybe, that they are in the shade underneath the awning over the overhang here.
Yeah, it's a little cooler in the shade. When the temperature gauge says 93, that's in the shade, of course.
Yeah, it's not on the field, and it's hot.
We had a double-header last week with the Woodlands and Rockwall. The players were saying it drained them. It really did. To play back-to-back games on the surface here with the temperatures in the low 90s, and it really would drain the players. A couple of guys that were talking about having to play like catcher and then come over and play both games in the catching position. That's tough.
Perlman, 2 away. Perlman, the number 9 hitter, has played defensively well, and he's also driven in 2 runs. Vying for the player of the game here today. 2 outs, 2 up and 2 down, and again, it bears worth repeating, no team has been retired in order in this game. And Stanton Keene, catcher, originally was the DH, but came in as the catcher when they did the pitching change. And Ryan Mosley's afternoon is done. Keene 0 for 1.
Baden Sports is proud to be the official ball carrier of the UIL. No matter what your sport is, trust your game ball to Baden. Authentic and innovative. Baden shares your passion for a better game.
It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bayless has come on in relief since the 2nd inning, and he's thrown great baseball. 3 2/3, only allowed 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Coming up on his 55th pitch here in the ballgame. And 36 have been now for strikes. He has done a great job, the sophomore. Willigee, the starting pitcher and the ace of this staff, only going 1 inning, and he, head coach, as this one is fouled down the left field line. Head coach Craig Jones did not wait for his starting pitcher and his ace to settle in. He said, "You don't have it. I have no choice but to take you out." And that's the thing, that when you play in a 1-game setting, you don't have the luxury of trying to work out through a 1 game and then always have the luxury of a game 2 and a possible game 3.
Well, I think Craig Jones was not pleased with the fact that his team had just put a 4 spot on the board, and his pitcher goes out there, and next thing you know, the bases are loaded, nobody's out. He'd walked a couple of batters. I mean, those are the kind of things that drive coaches crazy.
Yeah.
You're thinking, throw strikes. I just gave you 4 runs.
The 1-2 with 2 outs.
Thinking Keene should take that one for the team right there. That ball was inside and tight. He kind of looked like he was okay with it, maybe brushing his shirt, but you got to get a little more of that, maybe that Craig Biggio forearm in there.
And a nice play below us by one of the fans.
Biggio had that big pad on his left arm. He used to lean that thing in.
All-time hit by pitches leader in baseball history. The payoff pitch with 2 outs to Keene. And it's lifted on the left side. Third baseman Perlman in foul territory making the play. And that's the first 1, 2, or 3 of the ballgame on either side. Bayless records it. And it's Pleasant Grove up by 3. UFCU Dish Falk Field, the site of today's state semifinal in Class 3A. And Pleasant Grove leading 5-2. Gerald Sanchez along with Jeff Power on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Casey Rayburn will lead it off for the Hawks, who lead by 3. 27 wins and 13 losses, but a 10-10 start. And actually 0-1 in district play. They lost their first game in district, and then they were able to turn things around. Lost to Liberty Ilu out of Texarkana in their first game by 2, 10-8.
Let him bunt it now. Let him bunt.
Then defeated Atlanta, and then it went from there,
There you go.
in district play. Scotland Church, the righty, on in relief. Tapper foul. So Ryan Mosley, the starting pitcher, can close the book on him. 4 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs, only 3 earned. 6 walks, 2 strikeouts in this 90-plus degree heat. 90 pitches, 47 strikes. Didn't maximize the most of what he could do with that heat. And, you know, you got to throw strikes, and he just wore down, it looked like. 6 walks for Mosley. Rayburn walked in the first, reached on an error in the second, singled in the fourth. Coming on to make the play is the right fielder, Parr. 1 out.
Seems like the high sky is affecting more of the lazy pop flies out to right, but not so much on that one. But the way that sun was positioned about 2 innings ago, it was definitely giving the right side of the outfield trouble.
Popped up on the right side off the bat of Ty Harp. And it is Parr making the play. 2 fly balls to the right fielder, Parr, battling that sun. Well, maybe Lubbock Cooper going to try to retire Pleasant Grove in order after they did them that in the last half inning. Top of the 6th, 5-2. Texarkana Pleasant Grove.
Maybe Parr will do it all by himself.
Well, it's certainly not a record, but it's definitely above average. Count of 0-1 from Church. Sylvie got a count of 0-2. Sylvie last time up singled and scored that big insurance run with a bases loaded walk in the 5th. Now the bases loaded walk. Joe Perlman at the plate, the third baseman, was able to battle. Scotland Church walked him.
Rear back, throw it right by him.
Both these teams had to earn their way here.
1, 2, 3. And the way that Sylvie took off, it looks like he was trying to charge the mound, but he's just taken off to his center field position after striking out. Both teams with 4 hits, but a 3-run differential in the score column. Pleasant Grove trying to go for back-to-back. The defending state champions leading 5-2, and Jared Bayless in relief has been the story on the mound. Coming on the second inning for Dalton Willigie and has not allowed a run. Tanner Hahn for Lubbock Cooper. 1 ball and 1 strike to Hahn. A base hit and a run scored in the second. Reached on an error by the second baseman Alsup in the third. Just outside the third base line.
This is the most runs Lubbock Cooper has given up since they lost to Childress, or beat Childress 12-6 on the second last game of the season. But throughout the playoffs, they've played really well as far as their defense, their pitching.
And that's what it takes.
They swept Stephenville with 8-1 and 11-0 victories. Took care of Kennedale 3-0 and 6-2. Beat Abilene Wiley 7-4 and 13-0.
In the gap, it'll go to the wall. Hahn will stop at second with a leadoff double. Of their 5 hits today, that's the first of extra base variety.
Tanner Hahn doing a nice job there of just driving that pitch into left center, headed out towards that 405 sign. Really got all of that one as he winds up at second base. Like we said, we don't expect to see players at the Class 3A level hitting home runs here, but that's the next best thing right there. Runner on second, nobody out.
So you have 6 outs to work with because it's a 7-inning game. And going after the first pitch, it is skied on the right side. Second baseman Alsup. It's the right fielder, Jeans, making the play.
You saw a little bit of trouble there pulling that in. That sun definitely a factor in short right. Every time we've seen the second baseman and the first baseman and the right fielder come together right around that area, it has been trouble.
One away.
Make him pitch to you now.
Mason Gillis, second baseman, getting his first at-bat of the game. Going back to second base is Hahn, no one there to take the throw. Another funny thing about the carpet dirt, Jeff.
The pellets?
You don't have to worry about getting the cleaning the uniform and dusting off the uniform. 0-1 the count. But from up here, it kind of, I don't know, fools you a little bit. You're used to seeing dirt fly everywhere. Doesn't happen on that carpet.
Yeah, just the little pellets go up and down. That's why you see that little bit of black around the base itself. Loosening up.
Perlman making the play. 2 away. And Hahn is still at second base.
It's one of those designs where maybe you don't see the cost effectiveness at first because it's more expensive, but through time you can see how you don't have to worry about, manicuring the bases or obviously dealing with any kind of water on the field itself. You don't have to worry about the growth. It won't affect it.
Jordan Salas, left side, and it's not going to be played by Harp, the shortstop. That'll be an error. E6. Ty Harp. Salas reaches it first.
Got to make that play right there. I mean, this is a relatively routine play. I'm not sure if the runner maybe got in his way there just for a second, but got to come up with that one.
Maybe taking the eye off the ball before you come up with it, trying to size up your runner, running down the first base line, see if you're going to throw him out. Now you got runners on the corners, 2 away with Chase Freeman. He's the tying run. This is a big hitter for both ball clubs, but especially for Lubbock Cooper, trailing by 3. Don't necessarily have to feel like you have to tie it up here in this inning. You've got 3 more outs to work with, but you want to chip it away and make it a little bit easier on yourself in case that you go down the 7th inning trailing.
And Chase Freeman's had a good game. He's been on base all 3 times, has an RBI. Walk, couple singles.
Up the middle, and it's caught by Bayless. Bayless has done an outstanding job here this afternoon. 5 scoreless innings out of the bullpen, and we enter the 7th. 7th inning. Trey Jeans for Pleasant Grove. Scotland Church out of the bullpen. Church has thrown now 39 pitches. Missing here inside.
No strikes now.
Gene's gotten on board twice via the walk.
Officially, he's 0 for 1.
It's a good man to have leading off your inning. He's got great speed.
Put the ball in play, put pressure on the defense. Almost hit him. Of course, Jeff Power would say, take one for the team.
Take it off the jeans.
No pun intended, right? The 3-2, and it's fouled.
Well, it's easy to say that up here.
Exactly. It's no fun being hit by a baseball.
Yeah, that little blue mark never goes away.
And a leadoff walk. Third time that Trey Jeans has walked today.
He's real patient at the plate. I'd watch for him maybe to steal in a situation like this. They've used the hit and run a couple of times today, too.
And it hits off of Jeans' foot, but it's played by Gillis, the second baseman.
That's the way to take one for the team. Pleasant Grove 8-2 in the postseason, playing their best baseball of the entire year. It's the right time to do it.
Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier in the major leagues. There was 3 consecutive years where a wild card team won the World Series.
02, 03, and 04.
And almost 05. The Astros were there in the World Series, but lost. Just about who are you playing hot at the right time of year? That's so important. You start getting into that groove. Hitters start seeing the ball better. Pitchers find the strike zone better.
Yep.
Pops away from Keene, the catcher. This Church was not going to throw Bayless a strike with 2 down. It was ahead in the count 0-2. Now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jared Bayless. Bayless, the pitcher, came on in relief, and he has done outstanding.
Drop it in on him.
I've always liked Class 3A. No matter what the sport, it is usually set up where the school is the only school in town. Everyone supports that school.
Swing and a miss, throw down to second base, and that's a stolen base for Jeans, but a strikeout for Bayless. Works just as good as a sacrifice bunt, right?
Why not?
Usually in the National League, you see the pitcher bunt, the runner on base. 1 away, runner at second, Jeans, top of the 7th. That's in Hopkins. Ball gets away from the catcher, Keene, and going to third is Jeans. So a stolen base for Jeans, and then he goes to third. See if they, I would imagine that would be a wild pitch.
Now you're just looking for a sacrifice fly, perhaps, or hit the ball towards the right side of the infield, but maybe a little slower since they're playing in. If you can control all that.
They ruled it a pass ball, beg your pardon. Hopkins walked a couple of times, lined into that double play that ended up being huge at the time because it looked like they were going to get out of it. Right to the second baseman again, and the throw not in time over to Hayward, but Gillis making the play. Gillis made the exact same play on the hitter Hopkins in the last time he came to the plate. That little blooper, and he was able to make the double play and picking off over the runner at first, Roberts.
A couple of unassisted outs, huh?
Yep.
2 away and a big insurance run at third base. Jason Cordray, the catcher. On the infield, and this should do it in the top of the 7th inning.
Oh.
And Gillis can't make the play. It didn't even come close.
Absolutely lost it in the sun. There's no question about it.
Again, that right side of the infield.
I mean, take a look at the replay one more time. Right about here, you start noticing he's just not sure where it is. He's kind of looking around. The ball lands a good 2 feet to his right. Just lost it there at the last part. Tough break because it cost him a run.
Pleasant Grove credited with a hit.
Didn't get a glove on it.
RBI for Cordray, the number 8 hitter, bringing home Jeans, makes it 6-2. And Joel Perlman. Cordray, RBI.
Cordray says, hey, I'll take it.
Take
see
it
that
any
single?
way you can.
You see my RBI single?
In the state semifinal. Cordray picking up his 4th RBI of the season. Yeah,
I personally hit that ball about a mile high, purposely into the sun.
beg your pardon, hit his 4th playoff RBI of the season.
Got that inside corner that time.
The 0-2. Throwing out a first base, rather.
You know, there's something about having that experience, playing in these 6 state tournaments for Texarkana Pleasant Grove. You can just see they have a certain confidence about them that you have to earn.
Runner goes to second base, and that's going to be a stolen base.
Craig Jones and his assistant coaches, Riley Fincher, Paul Phillips, Grayson Workworth, they do a great job. Have this team really focused at the right time of the year.
Failed to mention Matthew Johnson is running at second base into center. Johnson being waved by Jones. The throw cut off by the catcher, Keene, and they're going to have the hitter Perlman in a rundown, and he is safe. Boy, what a game by Joel Perlman, the smallest guy on the field, biggest heart, making good defensive plays, and he's also has 3 RBIs, and the lead now is 5 by Pleasant Grove.
Big play by Perlman, lines it into center field for the base hit, driving in the run, and then has the ability to get back to first and make the huge, getting safe back to first was a play on into itself.
To the right side off the bat of Alsop, Gillis, and that'll do it. The pop-up on the infield from Cordray ends up blooming into 2 runs in the top of the 7th. A 5-run lead. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Seven to 2. Texarkana Pleasant Grove trying to play for their 3rd state championship in school history, their 2nd consecutive state championship. And the first pitch is on the inner half of the plate. Lubbock Cooper is going to send up The 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Tyler Parr, 0 for 1 with an RBI. Jared Bayless, 5 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. Gerald Sanchez here up in the booth. Jeff Power going down to the field for some post-game reaction here on Fox Sports Southwest. Championship game tomorrow is scheduled for 6:30 Central Daylight Time. LaGrange and Silsbee coming up next. And right now it looks like Pleasant Grove will play the winner of those. Inside, and it's a leadoff walk to Tyler Parr. Bayless now at 76 pitches, 50 strikes, and there is going to be, it looks like it's going to be a change. It looked like that might be Silvey. Silvey will be the new pitcher. Hopkins headed over to center field, it looks like. Well, we had talked about a couple of the transfers on Pleasant Grove this year, coming in from other schools, Silvey being one of them. And the Sidewinder starting to warm it up. Silvey, no record on the season. He's a junior right-hander. Casey Rayburn goes from first to left field. The pitcher, Jared Bayless, goes to first base. And Dylan Silvey comes in from center to the pitcher mound, and Hudson Hopkins goes to center, from left to center. So right side of the infield, Jared Bayless, Alex Alsop on the right side, left side Ty Hart, Joe Perlman. In the outfield from left to right, that is left to right, Rayburn, Hopkins, and Jeans. Cordray is still behind the plate, and the new pitcher is Dylan Silvey. Silvey takes over. Third pitcher to be used by Craig Jones. Takes over for Bayless, who threw 5 innings, allowed 4 hits, and that was the first walk. Parr, the first walk of the ballgame for Bayless here in the 7th, might be tiring at the 77 pitch mark. 4 strikeouts. And the pitch to Scotland Church. The pitcher is on the inner half of the plate. It's a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Right side, and Bayless goes to second for 1, and that's all they get. They get the lead man. But if you're Craig Jones, you'll say you'll take an out on any base at this point. You'll exchange outs for runs, being up 5. Church bounces into a fielder's choice. Church will run for himself as the pitcher. Chandler Patterson. Patterson 0 for 3. Left fielder. Parr retired on a 3-6. Fans behind home plate, and our microphone is picking it up loud and clear, not happy with the home plate umpire, Art Green. Outer half of the plate, it's 1-2. Of course, maybe trailing by 5 runs might have something to do with that as well. Just human nature. Lead at first. Breaking ball is skied right side. First baseman Bayless will watch it go close over to our cameraman down the first base line. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The ball game started off with a lot of jitters on both sides. Both teams having traffic, bases loaded for Pleasant Grove. They were unable to get a run across, as was Lubbock Cooper. Down the left field line, and it is foul. Oh boy, that was close. But then in the second inning, Pleasant Grove was able to come up with 4 runs on just 2 hits, a couple of errors, also helping the Hawks to take a 4-0 lead. Then Lubbock Cooper coming back with 2 of their own on 3 hits. And so the game settled in. Willigie, the starting pitcher for Pleasant Grove, was taken out. Breaking ball hit in the air to left field. Left fielder Rayburn goes back. He was burned by it. It'll go up against the wall. And Baxter waving the runner. Church all the way in from first. And it's 7-3. Rayburn looks like he took an angle, came in on that play. That'll be ruled an RBI double for Chandler Patterson. 7-3, 7 hits now for the Cooper Pirates. Ball 1 from the catcher Stanton Keene, or to the catcher Stanton Keene, I should say. Righty versus righty here, lead at second. Up the middle, second baseman Alsip to his right, 2 away. And now Lubbock Cooper down 2 and out. Pleasant Grove an out and away, and playing tomorrow night against the winner of Silsbee and LaGrange. Lubbock Cooper Pirates, who have dedicated this year to E.J. McHugh, passed away early in the season. A teammate, a fallen teammate. They've got the number 25 in the halo on the side of the cap. They don't want to see their season end, but Tyler Hahn, the first baseman, is down the count. No balls and 1 strike to Dylan Sylvie, the third pitcher to be used by Craig Jones. 1 ball and 1 strike. Great story coming out of Region 1, District 2, 3A. Inside, but the experience of the Pleasant Grove Hawks showing here this afternoon. Cooper has out-hit Pleasant Grove 7-6, but trailing the score 7-3. This could do it if it stays in play, and it is dropped by the first baseman Bayless. Almost.
Level 1-4. Keep them level, kid.
It's 2-2.
You got away with that now. Make them pay. Be smooth up there now.
Patterson at third, advanced to third on the ground ball by Keene. The second baseman Alsip made the play. 2-2 with 2 away. Sylvie inside and high. They can just somehow, some way, try get the tying run to the plate. But a lot has got to happen before that happens. Strike 3 called, and that's the ball game. Pleasant Grove will be playing for the state championship, the third in the school history and the second consecutive state championship in 3A in baseball tomorrow night at 6:30. The final. Pleasant Grove, the Hawks 7 and the Lubbock Cooper Pirates 3. Come back with the postgame right after this on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. 7-3 the final score as Texarkana Pleasant Grove wins. Let's go down to the field with Jeff Power.
Thank you, Gerald. We're down here with Craig Jones, head coach of Pleasant Grove. First of all, congratulations. You're back in the state championship again. Talk about this victory and how proud you are of your team.
Well, we scrapped around and got some runs. We pitched pretty well. Our depth pitching-wise showed up today, and we just need to make a few more routine plays on pop-ups, and we can keep those guys from scoring very many runs and just keep tacking on runs, and we'll be all right.
How about the play of Joe Perlman, 3 RBIs?
Yeah, that was nice. The freshman came in and got the big hits. He likes the big stage, and that's why I don't mind having him over at the hot corner.
What he lacks in size, he makes up for with a big heart.
That's right. He does have a lot of heart.
We'll see you in the state championship game.
We'll see you then.
All right, there you go. And Craig Jones, the head coach of Pleasant Grove, they're headed back to the state championship game, Gerald. And, of course, they've been to the state tournament 6 consecutive times. This is beginning to be old hat for them. They'll play the winner of the next game, which is LaGrange and Silsbee. We'll have that one for you, too, coming up at 4 o'clock. Let's send it back upstairs to Gerald.
All right, thanks, Jeff. And the final score here, 7-3, as Texarkana scores 4 runs in the second inning, and they're able to make it stand up as the Lubbock Cooper Pirates end their season at 31-11 here from UFCU Disch-Falk Field in Austin. The first 3A state semifinal is complete as the Hawks will try to defend their title tomorrow night at 6:30, and it'll be either Silsbee or LaGrange that will play them tomorrow night at 6:30. And for Jeff Power, I'm Gerald Sanchez, wishing you a very pleasant good afternoon. In fact, we'll be back for the next game right after this here on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.